Hey you guys, I'm here today and I wanted to do a video for you, but the video that I want to do for you is more or less a follow-up video. My last video that I did, it was titled Witchy Therapy, and in that video I discussed a few issues, but the main topic of discussion was a condition called dysmorphia. And dysmorphia is a mental condition and it affects men, women, children. It doesn't discriminate like most diseases and illnesses. It does not discriminate. Um, you would think for the most part that women would struggle with this condition, and I'm sure they probably do, but like I said, it can affect men as well. And sad to say, the society that we live in today, this condition probably affects men more in this era than it has, in years prior. But I'm going to go ahead as I talk because I got a few things going on that I want to share with you, but I'm going to go ahead and light my incense. That way, as I continue talking, I can cleanse our space. And as you guys know, I do this anytime I'm doing anything of a spiritual nature, even if it's just talking. I just believe that anything that you do and your intention in doing it is to help someone else to achieve something positive, whether it's a spell, meditation, a discussion about a topic in hopes of helping someone out there. I think you should cleanse your space, to free it of any negativity. And that's why I always choose to light an incense at the beginning of each of my videos. Sometimes I may take a alternative route, and I might cleanse with another item or object, but the intention is all the same, and that's to cleanse this area of any negativity. Because believe me, it's always just waiting and watching. It's an opportunist. It's gonna pounce when it gets the opportunity. So like I said, please, 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 I can't say it enough, cleanse your space each and every time. And I've mentioned before, when you're outside in nature, there's no need to cleanse because nature in itself is cleansing. It's healing as well, but sometimes I just feel the need to cleanse, so that's what I do. And with this, this lifestyle, this craft, I have to say, follow your heart. So if you feel the urge to cleanse and you know that your area is already cleansed, if you feel you need to, just go for it. It only takes a few moments and it makes a world of difference. And I'm going to leave this incense burning right over here. I've got a jar with some sage and a little bit of dandelions in it. It's what I call a scrap jar. I put all my trimmings and my little shake and excess from, other things that I used in spell work and this and that, and I just put the excess in a jar to collect, and I'll use it for this or that. I'm very, very thrifty. I don't believe in wasting anything. I don't believe in throwing things out if you can use them or if someone else can use them. But moving on, I have a couple of things that I want to incorporate in our discussion today, so I'm going to be doing that as I run my big mouth to you guys. But what I wanted to start with is, this is just some homemade oil that I made, and I made it not too long ago, but I used it in a self-love spell. I've used it in a protection chant, and I've used it in a healing session that I've done. And I know you probably can't see it, but there's still maybe a half a bottle left, but it's turned out to work pretty well for just about every occasion. So I'm going to put a few drops of it in my hand, as you can see, and I'm going to do this because I believe that your hands are a tool of magic as well. You know, your finger, you know, works as a wand, as, you know, it's an extension of you. You can redirect your energy and your intention in a direction by simply using your finger, you know, and as well as a wand. But the hands, the center, the palm of the hands is a energy point. And when we do energy work, you know, when you see the healer or the worker rubbing their hands together like this, there is a purpose for it. There's a reason behind it, and that is because that's the energy point. And by rubbing their hands together, they're generating more energy. They're gonna cause it to flow more freely, and it's gonna be right there ready to go. It's gonna become more readily available for them to pull from within. And I brought a couple of stones, and I'm sure you guys knew I would, but there's many stones that you can incorporate in this type of discussion, this type of work. And as you know, we're talking about a condition called dysmorphia, but I have to rank it along with, it's, you know, more or less you're going to resonate on this vibe as self-healing, you know, self-love, confidence, esteem. This is one of those inner healing type of conversations that I'm trying to aim for. So bear with me. I know I get, you know, sidetracked very easily, but I'm always trying to add anything that pops in my mind that I feel may be beneficial to the conversation or may help you along the way, you know. So just bear with me. I'm still working out the kinks of my channel and how to do this. And I simply brought 2 clear quartz points, and I use a lot of clear quartz. It's, you know, it helps with clarity. It is a very good stone to help with cleansing. But for the main reason that I brought it, and like many other times before, clear quartz is what they call an amplifier. Whatever properties your other stones or other ingredient that you're using, this clear quartz will, you know, when you're working with something and you'll say by the power times 2 times 3 times 4, well, that's what this is. This is your power times 2 times 3 times 4, because whatever it is you're using, whatever it is you're working with, or whatever intention that you're trying to set and manifest, this clear quartz right here will amplify it. It will, you can take something very tiny and add this with it, and it's like working with something very big, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna put them over here in my little dish, and I've showed you guys this before, but it's my little heart trinket tray that I use to hold my stones. I also brought a couple pieces of jasper, and I decided to bring the jasper because jasper is it's a healing stone as well. It absorbs negative energy, and it is what we call a long acting stone. You can include jasper in your energy work. And once you're finished with that work and you've, finished up and you've put everything away, and the only thing that you have left there is the intention that, you have brought forth to manifest. And or you think that's all that's there is your intention, but the property of the jasper is still there, and it's gonna be the next day, the next week, the next month, until this work that you have done has come to a conclusion, till it's come to an end, till it's served its purpose, and your work has made you feel a feeling of content. If you feel satisfied and you feel content, the universe knows this, the goddess knows this, and she knows then, that work is done. It's time to set that work aside and move on to something else. And that jasper, it will continue working on your behalf until the work is done. Until the deal is done, it'll still be working on your behalf. That's why I really love jasper. It's very grounding. It's very, very nurturing and calming. It's just, to me, the perfect definition for a piece of jasper is it's just so earth-like. That's the only way I can describe jasper for you guys, is it's just so earth-like. When I work with jasper, I get the biggest earth vibes ever. And I truly believe, just a little tidbit for you, if you are a Taurus, you're an earth child, and jasper would be something that you would work really good with. Just putting that out there for you. Back to the topic at hand, dysmorphia. As you know, when people are weaker, or they're unable to use a certain part of themselves, whether it be a physical part like an arm or a hand or a leg, or if it's, a mental part, emotion, way of thinking, logic, just any part of the mind, when they have that part of them and it's weaker than the rest of them, or it doesn't work at all, it seems to me, and I've read this and I've discussed this with others, it seems to be that when you have one part of you that is lesser, you also have a part of you that is stronger, that is better. And meaning, most people that are lacking in one part of them, they're overcompensated in another part. I guess, for an example, I've seen this on TV before. There's this blind girl, and she was born blind, so she can't read, not with her eyes. I mean, she can read Braille, but she's blind. And the strange thing about her being blind is that she can sing. She can sing so beautifully. She can sing like an angel. And she's never practiced a day in her life. She's never been trained. She just started singing one day, and she sings so beautifully. But the average person that has no disabilities or abnormalities, they wouldn't be able to get up and sing so beautifully as her. Another example is, there's a case that I read about this boy, and I think he was a young adult or teenager, maybe 18, 19, 20, and he was mute. He couldn't speak, and he was born that way as well, but he could play the piano. He played the piano like a genius. He could play pieces that, a person that had been playing the piano for 20, 30 years were unable to correctly play, and he could simply, look at that sheet of music and mess around with the keys on the piano for a few minutes, and the next thing you know, he was just playing, and it was just genius. But this young man, he couldn't speak. He was born a mute. And that's the case with many, many issues that people are, I don't know what word I'm trying to use, that it's a gift and a curse, I guess you could say. These people are affected by these disorders and these conditions, and you think because they are like this that they're lacking something in their life, and they're not whole, and they're not happy, and but they may be lacking in one certain area, but in another area they're just so blessed. It's unreal. And sometimes, I know it's hard, sometimes we have to look at the positive. We have to look at what we have, and we don't need to concentrate so much on what we don't have or what we're not able to do. And like I said so many times before when I discuss things with you, it's easier to say something than it is to actually do it. And I do understand that. And like I said, I have suffered from dysmorphia since I was very young, and I know that this stemmed from childhood trauma. And I do speak on the matter, but most of the time I don't go in depth. Even with my very, very closest friends and family, I don't go in depth about it. And it's too painful to bring it up, and it's just too hard to talk about it. But I do have someone that I feel comfortable, sharing with. And like I said in my last video, I think that makes a world of difference to have someone to talk to. And I don't know why, you guys, but I've got this spray, and it's just some spray that I made up and I use in different workings that I do, and it's simply some moon water that I collected on the last full moon, and it's got some little small pieces of lepidolite in it, and I just feel an overwhelming urge to share that with you. So I think maybe we just need to spray a little in our space. And sometimes with things we don't know why, and that's okay. There's no reason, no rhyme. It is what it is, and that's okay. We're human, and we're not perfect, and we're not gonna figure it all out, and we're not gonna have all the answers, and that is okay. And sometimes we just have no reason for what we are doing or thinking, and that is okay. Speaking back on this condition of dysmorphia, I've noticed with my personal experiences with this condition, and it is a bitch of a condition, let me tell you. You're never good enough. You're never pretty enough. There's always something wrong with you. It doesn't matter how much makeup you put on, how many different outfits you try on, no matter what hairstyle you wear, or if you lose weight, if you gain weight, if you get a tan, if you stay out of the sun. Nothing that you do or don't do is going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, and it's not going to be enough in your eyes. You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see the ugliest, the fattest, the or for you it may be the skinniest, scrawniest, whatever it is that is unappealing to you, that's what you're going to see. And it's not that that's really what is there. That is just what your mind is telling your eyes that that's what you're seeing. And it doesn't make it so. It's, you've allowed yourself to listen to these negative things that people may have told you when you were a child, like, you're not pretty, you better learn a skill because you're not going to find a husband. You're not, it's ridiculous the things that people will tell other people to break their spirit. And there may not be any cause or no reason for them breaking that person's spirit, but they do because their spirit is broken. And with dysmorphia, I found out in my experiences that what you see when you look upon yourself is distorted and it's not beautiful. But when you look upon others, they really may be ugly and distorted, but when you look upon them, you're not seeing none of that. You're seeing their true beauty. And it may be just the littlest, teeniest speck of beauty that they hold, but you'll see that. And that's why people that have conditions like dysmorphia tend to be more helpful to other people, more loving to other people. They get out there and they want to help others and love others, but when it comes to their self, they have no love left to give their self. They feel like they don't deserve it, and that is the biggest crock that there is. And I could actually do another run of speaking on this condition and the effects that it has, because not only dysmorphia, but there comes the other things that are tied in with it, like the depression, the anxiety. Some people may experience suicidal thoughts. There's just everything has a action and a reaction, and everything, this leads to this, and so on and so on. And we could really sit down and probably do a whole segment of a month of mental health, and that could be an idea, you guys. If that's an idea that you would like, comment down below and I'll get us some things together and we can discuss it, because in my previous job I was a mental health counselor, so I do have a little knowledge on the subject, and I still have some of my work materials that I could pull out and get some information from. And if that's something that you guys might be interested in chatting about, just leave me a comment. I know my channel's small, I don't have many subscribers, but if there's just one person out there that resonates with anything that I've said in this video or any video, just comment. And if you don't want to comment for the world to see, shoot me an email, or join one of my witchy Facebook groups. I'll leave that information down in the section below as well, my email, and I will leave my links to my Facebook groups. And if you don't want to reach out to me, I have a great team of moderators, and I've got a great partner that's helping me. He's the best, and he's very experienced in this type of thing as well, and he is a natural born healer. So